self-esteem, self-development, self-improvement, self-confidence, self-love. There is a common denominator, soul vibers. Self, aka you. So then why do we always look for other people to validate us, to make us feel worthy and acceptable and lovable when we hold that power? Hey, it's your girl Abby, aka New Age Coach here, lighting the way for those on their way to the light. To my soul vibers, that is those of you who are already subscribed, thank you. Anyone who just tuning in, welcome. On this channel, we talk all things self and soul development. So if you like that vibe and want to join the tribe, hit subscribe. I've been doing a lot of reflecting this week, and a lot of the things that I'm realizing are coming up for me personally on my own spiritual journey has a lot to do with needing others to validate my existence. Validation, self-worth, self-esteem and confidence, and really feeling like a disconnect from a lot of the people that I value. And what I've come to realize is it all starts from self. If I'm feeling a lack of love or a lack of acceptance or a lack of worth, it's not up to anyone else. It's not anyone else's responsibility to work through that except mine. So the first step is really becoming aware, right? Creating that space for you to ask yourself, what are some of the themes I'm struggling with right now? And really getting a clear indication of what those are. And then the second thing, like I mentioned, is that accountability piece of it. Really accepting that it's your responsibility to work through that and to not need to be codependent on anyone else for any situation, because you already have everything you need within to address that. It's part of your soul mission here, is to work through these kind of darker shadows to transmute that into the light. Through your own self-healing journey, it will be reflected to every single person, because again, in this concept, we are all one. So by you doing that love just gets reflected out and shines out to activate and influence and inspire others to do that own journey of their self-healing. Some of these relationships are dropping off or changing form. It's for the best and highest good of everyone involved. You're not better than, no one's better than you. It's all just a shift in energy and perspective so that we can all learn the lessons that we need to for ourselves at whatever point in time. So even though you might not vibe anymore on the same frequency as those you used to, that's a beautiful thing. It means you've grown. You may have, elevated in terms of consciousness, where you don't match the frequencies that aren't going to serve you for your specific journey. As you start clearing out some of these relationships or some of these feelings, some of the shadow work, it allows space internally for things that are for your best and highest good to flow right in so easily. Yes, it can be a lonely process, and it's just that flip of a switch from turning it into I'm lonely to understanding what that loneliness is trying to teach you. You have a great responsibility through this awakening process to understand why it's happening, to have that awareness, to have that bigger picture, and to understand the greater purpose of that loneliness. That in rectifying that soul by soul, self by self, we will raise our collective consciousness through that individual self-worth. Self-work. That was my higher self slipping in for self-worth, but I meant to say self-work. I think that's funny when that happens, because self-worth is something I'm working on. But anyway, for those of you who we might not vibe, or you've fallen off, or you don't think we're on the same wavelength, or sharing different messages, I send you love. I wish you well on your journey. We all have permission to be ourselves, and that is the best part of this entire journey. So to wrap this all up, soul vibers, just remember, no one can make you feel sad, lonely, aggravated, anything. No one can make you feel anything without your consent, because you own yourself. You're responsible for how you perceive, react, think, believe, all of it. It comes down to yourself. And I open myself up to each and every one of you, and I hope you stay tuned for the rest of this journey. Namaste.